Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for the next iteration of the European Racing Series Grand Prix here in China. I'm Ben Ragan McConnell, and joining me on the caster's desk is the one and only Jamie Amcaster Elder. How you doing?
I'm not too shabby. I've actually connected to the game now, finally.
Hey.
Slight delay.
But we're here, and yeah, apologies for the delay, ladies and gents. There was a lot of issues with the game for a few of the drivers, and also my co-commentator Amcaster was having issues with sound, and then the game just to make it all the worse. But that will serve him right for disappearing over the weekend to Legoland and leaving me high and dry. But I appreciate it nonetheless. Well, yeah, of course. I mean, playing with Legos.
Well, to be fair, Legoland was yesterday. I didn't leave you high and dry yesterday. The weekend was visiting my mum's.
Well, happy birthday to your mum as well, by the way. Thank you for that. But it was your mum, wasn't it? That was your birthday.
My birthday.
Ah, that's even more awkward. Well, anyway, we're here in China, and it's one of them sort of tracks that is a sort of tough area to really push yourself quite far, especially when it comes to turn one. That's the one that really sort of throws people out pretty hard. If you take the too tight angle, then you're going to really struggle and weigh your tyres pretty far down. But if you take the wide angle, you're leaving yourself vulnerable to an early dive down the inside, but also you're putting yourself in a precarious position nonetheless. We are having issues at the minute, just waiting for Fragioko to load in. But we have...
Why I can't load in?
Say again, sorry?
Is that why I can't load in? I was a little bit late joining.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, I made it into the session. That's good.
You did, and I'm seeing Rin.
Oh, yeah, that looks good. That's interlevel at the moment.
It's not. Look at the tyres. They're on softs.
Oh.
They are on softs.
I hate and love to see this. You've raced in this.
It's awful.
Tell us, how does it feel? And I think you just did.
It's absolutely awful. It is by far probably the most scariest feeling in the world. It's at the point where you say, I really kind of want to get on with, just go to the intermediate tyres and then just go for it. But you can't. I mean, Marison's trying it. He's gone onto the intermediate tyres at the minute. A couple of the other drivers have just gone for the mediums, Dan and Pika.
Have they?
No, they've just switched back. Maris has just switched back.
Oh, yep. Sorry, my thing was on best, not fitted.
There is a lot of tyre swapping around going on. You can see the little dash. We actually have our first one out. That is a Toro Rosso, wasn't it? Or Dan? Dan's out.
Is it Dan?
Yeah, it's Dan. Dan's out. And he's out on the medium, so we'll see how well the grip is. But yeah, just going back to what you were saying, the track is very slippy. And you've got these corners where you need aerodynamic pressure and you need grip. And if you don't have it, it's so difficult. You lose so much time. So we'll see how they get on. But I have been told that it is going to dry up in around about 10 minutes or so. So we should still have a good 7 minutes, 8 minutes of dry racing, hopefully. But yeah, as it stands, we're probably going to be seeing a lot of cars just going out and putting times in just for banker laps.
Yeah, I mean, Dan is tackling probably the hardest part on the circuit right now. This 7 and 8 corner, fast corner in the dry. It's overtaking opportunities as well, and to try and tackle that on a slippery track is going to be really quite hard. I'm just wondering how many cars we're going to be left with when it's actually got to the point where it's completely dry. As I see a yellow in sector 1 already, that's not the best start. So someone's lost it in the first few corners.
Yonti.
Yeah, still on board with Dan. I think we're going to see a lot of people doing what Yonti's doing, sticking the hards on, going along and just putting in a few laps. DRS is still enabled though. That's kind of important. Not been used for Dan at the moment, but
I mean, he'll still have a lot of grip, I guess, but let's see how much grip he has as we come to the braking zone. No locking up there, but he did downshift slowly, which would have helped him.
Oh, he doesn't need to go quickly at this point. It's only an outlap. Now it's coming. Let's see how handles this. Oh, that is tame.
Well, do you want to do a lap rundown?
Well, if we get to the end of the lap, yes, I will. Home straight, DRS wide open under the lovely looking architecture bridge through turn 1, which keeps going. And if you can keep it on the race line, goes through turn 2. And then just drops away down the hill, down towards turn 3, and back out left now. And then that opens up through, hopefully through turn 4 when he gets there. And power down, he's done that quite well actually, for what the conditions are. Kink of turn 5, end of sector 1, just here. Tight hairpin in turn 6. So hard to get that right, even in the drive, but overtaking opportunities through there. If you get a nice little drive off turn 4, then through 7 and 8. I think these are your two least favourite corners of the whole lot. fast flowing corners. I say fast, he's currently only doing 90 miles an hour through these. I suspect we'll be looking at probably 150, 160 when we get to the race in the dry. Through then turn 10, down towards turn 11, and this comes to the end of sector 2. I have the wrong map up to say where the detection zone is, but I believe it is just up here. And there's the white line, just there. That is for the back straight. That will be your DRS detection point. So, nice frame reference for those who are hopefully going to be seeing a lot of battling today. Hopefully the rain will dry up for the race and we'll have battling on track. DRS opening right now. A little bit late on it, but still it's open. That's the important part. And let's see where he brakes. It's normally just before the 100 meters marker. A little bit earlier. A little bit of a look up. He gets it slowed down. That's very... And he's just doing donuts now to please the crowd.
I mean, that's what we'll go with, but it was a definite mistake where he just got a little bit too excited on the accelerator. But yeah, now he's coming into the pits, so that is the end of that hot lap. Thank you, Amkasa, for taking that away. Still, ooh, he's having a wobble there.
You're still on board with that, aren't you? Like,
I am, yeah. I was just about to switch away. So Dwip has done a 141.320. Definitely not the times we'll be looking to see on these dry compound tyres, but the rain just being there, just even that little bit, that fine rain, is really making the track super greasy, super slippery, and you've got no confidence that you can turn into corners like what Beaker's doing right now. He's just going so gently. Yes, he's on an out lap. Well, he was actually on a hot lap, but the fact that he's in mode 0 suggests he's either invalidated or he's just unhappy with his lap. So yeah, he's going to be going very slow.
Yonti, he is on a fly at the moment. We've recently, for those who are unaware, we have had an update, so there are a few little changes being applied. He's actually not on a hot lap now because he's weaving, trying to get some heat in the tyres. But there's been a few livery updates, a few little bits here and there. Notably on a Haas, you'll see there is an absence of a certain logo from a certain company.
That's quite rich of them, isn't it, to say that?
Yeah. I didn't believe they had the energy to take that off, but they've gone ahead
and
done it like a lightning bolt. It's not still there.
It is on Yonti's car on my screen.
Where are you
right
looking?
There, by the fin.
On the fin?
No, by the fin.
No, the name's still there, but the logo's not.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. Logo that they're not allowed to use anymore unless they are a certain biking company.
Yes. So... one thing we haven't yet done, and I think we've got the opportunity to, because of the fact that it's going to dry up later, these times that are coming in now aren't really sort of representative of what we're going to see when the track does actually dry up. So, Amkasa, what's your top 3 prediction for qualifying?
Has anyone got a dice? I think that's the only way to predict this.
Yeah.
If it does dry up and become optimal track, it's going to be the last person to start a lap on the soft tyres. It's going to be as simple as that. As long as they do a clean lap, obviously. Browning's given us a little show on his softs, but there's so little you can take from this point. I'm going Meister. Duxie B is going to pull it out. He's going to put together something magical. He'll be one of the last guys to start, and he's going to nail it. So Duxie B will be second on the grid. Slightly out of position, you might think. And third place will be Beaker. He likes these changeable conditions, doesn't he?
He does. I mean, where is he right now? He's P6 as it stands. 146.596. Now, something to note is that the rain has stopped, so the track will start to dry up and the temperature will start to climb. We do still have 11 minutes left. So, I mean, we're already on the dry compound tyres in the first place anyway. It's now just a question of how much can you benefit from the track as it's evolving, and it will evolve in different ways to normal. If you have a dry qualifying overall, by the time you get to the end of it, you'll have a lot of grip and you'll feel really good on those tyres, but it's going to feel super different now because the track won't be as green as if it was a super dry track. It's now going to be still a little bit cooler than you would like to admit, and Beaker is making it look like it's really hot as he's done a 139.181.
Yeah, this track's just going to be a little, or quite slidey until the water disperses. It's going to be a green track until we can get some rubber down, and the track is really going to evolve. We see it evolve in normal races, which is completely dry. This is going to evolve completely differently, and it's so much more important to be out on the fastest tyres at the last time, and you did it perfectly yesterday from what I saw. And I think you should show everyone how to start the last flying lap. You crossed it with about a second left.
No, it was less than
or
that.
two?
It was less than
than a
that.
second.
I mean,
Um,
I'll be honest with you, it was so close to not being able to start a qualifying lap. I actually don't even want to imagine. Like, if that was a bomb defusal, that would have been insane. But Meister chucks in a lightning fast time. You can really see how much the track has changed in just those couple of laps. A 1:35.897 is what we've just seen from a hard compound tyre from Meister. And I think you're right. I think Meister being P1 is probably the best pick you could have gone with right now, especially considering how many other drivers haven't been able to do a time. I haven't. I was hoping you'd let me get away with it, but never mind.
No.
All right, I am with you in that Meister is fast here. I think he has absolutely got what is required to be on pole today. Brownie has stepped his game up a fair bit in the last few races that I've commentated of him, and I think that in this one, I think he will sit P2. I mean, Beak is really putting on a show for us today, but the last time I commentated him on China, it didn't go quite as well as we would have liked. I'm not going to put him in the top 3. I think it's going to be Yonti who's going to sit in a nice solid 3rd place.
So, Meister, Brownie, Yonti.
Yeah.
I've gone Meister, Duxie B, Beaker. As it's so hard to predict, I reckon. And that's why I put Duxie out there. I think he could be in for a little surprise today if he nails his lap perfectly. I've seen him in racing these sorts of conditions, and he's actually done quite well. So let's hope he can follow that through. And times are changing so much. I mean, Beaker just set a lap about a minute after Meister and say shaved off a second. That's how much changing. I'm currently on board with Dan, who is on the soft tyres, just gone round turn 13 onto the back straight. So we'll see what he can achieve. I suspect this is going to be like a 32 or even a 31.
It would be good if it could be. I'd like to see that time sort of cropping up right about now. But I just want to go back to what you were saying about Duxie B. You know, he does have the potential, and I think one of the main things that he lacks in himself is just that little bit of confidence. He doesn't seem to. I mean, I can only go by his driving styles. I've not really seen him any of his messages or any of his very quick lap there, 1:31.4. I can only base it on the way that he drives, and it does suggest to me that Duxie B just seems to lack the confidence in himself. And when he gets a little bit of confidence, that's when he's usually lost a place and he starts to overgrab.
He's just put it in the wall and lost a bit of front wing. I think he tries to get that back to the pits and messed it up big time. He invalidated on the final corner and then decided to try and savour it, but made a big mess. And I just wonder what he's going to try and achieve now, because he might get disqualified if he's not careful.
I think he's trying to reverse to the pits.
Yeah, that can get disqualification.
There you go.
There you go. Well, there goes my prediction for P2.
Yep.
That's a shame.
Rest in peace.
Been a good time.
Hazard has put. I mean, Hazard actually, of late, has actually been really quite fast, but not in qualifying. It's something he's struggled with since forever. I don't think I've ever seen Hazard have like an exceptionally good qualifying session. He's had like a solid one where he's been sort of P4, P5, whatever. But I haven't seen from him a qualifying session in F1 2019 where it's something to shout about. His race pace is still the same. He's still got really quick pace and he's still quite clean, still in terms of penalties. But I want to see more from him. I want to see him push himself to actually be quick in qualifying and get up there into the top 3 and really deliver. That would set him up, and I think that would be the first time we see him get a really good race win is when he starts qualifying near the front of the grid.
You kind of want to see race Hazard in qualifying.
Yeah.
Cool, calm, collected, doesn't do anything silly, and does exactly what he needs to do. And what he needs to do is get a decent qualifying position. Yes, okay, we see him coming from 5th and 6th and jumping up onto the podium through other people's misfortune, through their penalties. That's what you can do better than anyone. Better than Astro Boys, your other Captain Consistent. Hazard just seems to have that knack. He's not the quickest, he's not the feistiest, but he's the consistency. He knows the track limits, he knows that he can push it just the edge and avoid that penalty. And you look at some people who make the corner cuts, get those penalties, are they really gaining that time? The answer is no, they're not. And Hazard knows where the limits are. He pushes it to the absolute limit and doesn't go any further. And if we can see that in qualifying, we might see him get up onto a front row. At the moment, on this day, with 5 minutes to go, God knows who's going to be on the front row. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing a couple of soft times coming in. So 131 and 017 is the fastest at the minute with Brownie, and he's done that obviously on the soft as well. The thing for me, though, is I get the impression that he backed off. Because the strategy here is not to do softs. Like, doing softs to hards, whilst it is doable, is very, very, very difficult. And you are asking for a lot of trouble if you do try it. So I think Brownie... Ooh, there's Dwip having a little rotation there. Just to warm his tyres up. Yeah, exactly. Just warm the tyres up. Nothing to worry about. But yeah, I think Brownie backed off to make sure that he could be faster on his medium tyres. Those that are still in the pits, like Yolna Bahamas, Husqvarna, Bum Cigar, Brogue. Oh, he's going again. It's just making sure... No, he's not. He's just keeping it nice and toasty, because it's a bit cold today in China. He wants to have a nice little cruise back to the pits to keep himself cozy. That's all it was. Nothing further. But we are what I like to call the calm before the storm, as all the drivers are in the pit lane, getting ready for their final push. As you can see, 3 minutes and 48 seconds remaining of the session means we are running out of time. The track is starting to evolve, and they want to make sure that they get out at the right time to deliver the fastest lap time overall. Yeah,
Husqvarna's out there. Meister's on his way out. Both those on the medium so far. Be interested to see what people go for. You can see Dan has set a set of softs on, and Bone Cigar has as well. I'm going to ignore Dups and Brownies at the moment because they've just come into the pits. They've not changed their tyres. I doubt they're going to go out on old softs. It seems a bit crazy. But, yeah, so we see a few more people coming out. Baker's on his way out now. It is getting towards that point. But it's crucial that those bottom 4 drivers who are still in this still to set a time. They didn't fancy going out and putting a banker lap in, maybe getting a 30-odd, a low 33 or something. Which is interesting, if you ask me. I would have thought they'd be out there just in case someone crashes. They gain an extra position immediately. Especially if they crash, they can then start a little bit higher than other people. But Husqvarna is about to start us with one of the final flying laps. And he's got time for another one after this. No, he's not.
So I get the impression what he's doing here is capitalizing on the fact that the track is still pretty cool. He knows that he needs to get the warmth in the tyres if he wants to be able to deliver a quick lap. He also doesn't want to take away too much life in the tyre by doing one terrible lap on the out lap and then doing an attempt at a hot lap but still having no pace and no comfort in the tyres. So I expect him right now to still stay as he is, just finish this lap in mode 0 on the ERS, running in sort of lean to medium fuel, and then just at the end of this lap really go for it.
Meister, however, says, I'm going for it. He's sat in mode 5. He's got that power down coming off turn 4. Marinovi's got well out of his way, so he's definitely looking like going for a flyer. Dan's coming out on softs, which is interesting. If Brownie does the same, then Brownie could quite easily get the pole position here today. We've seen him try a strategy like this, especially in Australia, and it's never worked for him. So it'd be interesting if he can make it work for him here today in China.
Yeah, but here's Meister giving it a good run still. Everything seems to have gone okay. There was a little wobble earlier on, but nothing too tragic. He's still going pretty fast. He's 2.9 seconds faster than his previous best, which is, what, 132? And he's on the mediums, and there's still another sector to go. And the run out of this corner will be so different on the mediums versus what he was doing when he was on the hards earlier in the, still pretty damp track.
He does have another lap, though, if he wants to go for it. He won't have a cooldown and go. He'll have to just go. And I think he'll be decided by this corner that if he's going to go for it again.
I think he's going to go again. I'm pretty certain he's going to commit to another one. Although he might not have a look at his ERS though. Yeah, he's pretty low.
Run
but
out
he
of
is.
This lap. No, he's done.
So 131.737 is where he sits in P3. He's not going to be able to do another lap time as he's backed off already. So it's a good start, but the two drivers in front of him are both on the soft tyres. Brownie, who I wrongly predicted was going to go out again on mediums, has actually decided he's going to go from the softs. So he might try the two-stop strategy, but he also might not.
Beaker P4, he's got one more lap to go, and he is going for it. He's staying in mode 4.
Is that Brogan? Oh no, it's Yolna Bahamas. Oh, Yolna Bahamas just made a very unsafe re-entry to the track. He's actually going to miss this qualifying session now because he made a mistake on the final corner, lost the rear, ran off in towards the wall, and he's not put a lap time in. So P12 is the best that he will stay. If Brogan has an opportunity, which he's currently trying to do, to put in a fast lap time, then he's going to be in big trouble.
It's quite sunny now, isn't it?
It is.
Just on board with Dan coming down the back straight down towards the hairpin of turn 14 on the softs. And, I mean, if Brownie makes mistakes, this could be a poultice right here. Because Meister can't touch them, and they're running the softs. A little lock-up from Dan going into the hairpin. I think this could be a decent lap, and it's all going to come down to Brownie after this.
Ooh, was that invalidated? So. He was 0.3 faster, and that lap did count, but it is still not fast enough. So he is P2. That's where he's going to stay. Where is Brownie right now? He's coming around. He's coming down the back straight. So we'll keep an eye out for him as well. Beaker is also still on a flyer, but he's very much run out of ERS there. So he's going to charge just enough to be able to go here. But I think this is a bit of a mistake he's made here. 2 laps on the medium tyres. You are going to lose a lot of life going through it, but he's still staying committed. He's still staying strong. Is he going to be able to jump up to P3? Is he going to be able to beat me, Meister? He does not. Does improve. He's matched him. He's actually matched him 1,000th of a second. Perfect.
One last driver, Marison. I don't think he improved. It looks like he came P11 again. Yeah, he's still P11.
Wow. So Brownie is your pole sitter, which is not how I predicted that to go. I think if it had been all on the same tyres, I think we would have seen exactly as I predicted. However, here it is right now. Brownie is your pole sitter with Dan sitting on the same row of the grid as him in P2. Meister is 3rd with Beaker in 4th. Marinella Baby is 5th with Yonti in 6th. Haskari 7th. Hazard 8th. Dwip 9th, Overspeed 10th, and Marison is the best of the rest in 11th, with Brogan being the only other driver outside of the top 10 to also put a time in, as we had Yotna Bahamas, who couldn't get a time in, Bowman Cigar couldn't, and then Duxie B, who did set a time, but gets disqualified, reversing on the track. Now, something else to note is that we should have a 16th driver, which is Fragioko, who did have a game crash right as he loaded in. So unfortunately, he will lose that opportunity to qualify, but should still be able to race in the race. The only other thing to think about is he also won't have a setup. Oh, he's not even here.
Really not?
No, because Park Verme, he didn't get to even join in the qualifying. But yeah, he's confirmed he's definitely not going to be racing, so no, he won't be there. We are only going to have the 15 drivers, but we are still going to have a hell of a lot of good racing. The thing to watch, though, here in China is the softs disintegrate so quickly. I think 8 laps is the most that you can get out of them, and that's if you don't do a hot lap on them. So obviously, Brownie and Dan both did hot laps on the soft compound tyre. So I think we're going to be seeing Brownie will probably push it a little bit further than he should. And he did this last time and it cost him a fair bit. So I think we'll see him go 8, maybe 9 laps on the softs before he decides to pit. I think Dan will probably reach 7 laps, 8 laps, and then decide I actually shouldn't continue here because I'm going to cause more problems for myself. I guess we're going to have to wait and see right now as we're getting underway the formation lap.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting first corner with those softs out front. Look at that. Only 2 guys on non-soft tyres. That's non-medium tyres, sorry. Everyone else is on mediums except for Brownie and Dan out front. And Brownie's tactic has got to be get the B and P1 at the end of turn 4 and then start pulling away. You're going to need that extra pit stop, really. You might fancy a soft medium if that's going to work. To stop it. Because you say soft to hard is ridiculously hard.
It is.
But he's underfueled the car, actually. He might be going for it.
I think he is going...
He comes off. He's right on the limit, he is.
Yeah. I think he is going to do the softs to hard strategy, unless he's been practicing the softs, mediums, which is also another doable strategy. But you do lose a hell of a lot of time here because of how long the pit lane actually is on this track. You lose, I think it's on average, sort of 23, 24 seconds just purely through the pit stops. And that's obviously going to cost you. If you do it twice, you're talking almost a full lap lost there, which is a big deal. So I think he's going to still try the one-stop strategy, going from softs to hards. The one thing that is interesting is those outside of the top 10, none of them decided to start on the hard compound tyre. Whether that means we're going to see any sort of wet weather later on towards the end of the race, I'm not sure. But, I mean, either way, Brownie's definitely not going to be looking for it. He might, if he does go into the mediums, I think there will be wet towards the end.
If he goes on the softs, that might imply as well, because those mediums obviously will probably last the same length as just shy of 2 softs. Obviously, it all depends on the driver and how much fuel they've got in the car. So Brownie might go double softs into a wet tyre if he's fancying it, or he might play it conservatively, saying go softs to mediums. It's a bit of guesswork in all honesty right now. Obviously, it's all going to depend on how Brownie goes. If you get stuck behind Dan or Meister, his entire strategy is going to be out the window. So it's so crucial to get this start nailed. I think it's probably one of the most important starts he's going to do in a while.
Yeah, I'm totally on board with you on that one. But yeah, we are now into the grid boxes. Just waiting for Duxie B to fill in nicely. And once we do, the lights will go on. Here we go. It's time to get underway with the Chinese Grand Prix. When all 5 lights go out, we're going to see if Brownie's going to be able to get the start that he absolutely needs. He needs to get in front of Dan, as Dan's going to have the better line, and off we go. So Brownie has managed to get a good start, but Dan's right there alongside of him. They're actually going to be wheel to wheel coming up towards turn 1. Dan is a nose ahead, and that means now Brownie has to run wide, which brings Meister into this mix, and he's actually flying down the inside of Brownie. Brownie's lost out massively, and actually, Meister might get a good run out of this corner. Big lunge down the inside there from Brownie, but he's still alive, and he hasn't actually touched anybody. He's still keeping it clean, and Meister has a big wobble there, but so far so good, as I think the only real issues are actually further down the back of the pack.
Yeah, I'm watching the back. Oh, there's a little dive. I didn't really see many issues. I think it might have just been a few people taken to the grass. Duxie B's lost a bit of time to Brogan, so I think Duxie B might have had a little wander onto the grass, as I'm on board with the Scaria. I didn't realise it was that far up. Yeah, I'm looking further back. There doesn't seem to be much going on.
Yeah.
So what happened? Is Duxie B off far? Yeah, Duxie B's quite far back of Brogan, so he's had a little bit of time. Marino maybe had a lot of there.
Him and Overspeed have had a big issue. Overspeed's facing the wrong way on the other side of the track to Maranello, baby. He's now put himself back together, but he is dead last. He's lost a lot of time, and I don't know if I see any wing. Yeah, look at that whole left-hand side. That is in bits, and his tyres are cooked. He is in trouble. He can still make it, but he needs to get the tyre temperatures under control, and then he needs to think about the rest of his strategy. I think probably going from mediums to hards, and then at the end of it, decide if you need to go mediums again to
change up front though. Oh, and contact further back with Marison and Yelt are having a little argy-bargy going on, but there has been a change up front as Yonti as well, battling with the Scaria for P4. Brownie has taken back that lead. Half a second is the gap over, and Yonti's going to look to make a move on the Scaria. No, he's not. He's thinking better of it. But Brownie's not going quietly. Dan, sorry, he's not going quietly into the night. He's still hanging on to the back of the race leader in the McLaren of Brownie. And Overspeed is in the pits. Just have a quick look at Marino, maybe see if he puts any damage. He looks alright, actually. No massive damage.
No. So, the thing to keep an eye on is we are obviously expecting the soft tyres to be able to really deliver and just pull away, and they're not doing that at all. They need to use the fact that they have so much extra grip here and just gun it away from the rest of the pack. The gap now, after one lap, has only just reached sort of 8/10 between Dan and Meister, and the gap between Brownie and Dan is obviously, we expect that to be pretty close anyway because of they're on the same tyre, but it's just not working out how they intended, and those tyres are going to disintegrate so quickly. I think they've made a huge mistake here.
But what could work well for Brownie is that he should be faster than Dan. Meister should be faster than Dan.
Oh.
And he can now use Dan as a blocker. And we've got yellow flag and something's going on. It looks like Racing Points are having some issues.
Well, both of them. It was both of them. Marison just seemed to have lost it and went off in towards the onto the grass, trying to get back onto the track. But if you look at Bonus Cigar as well, his right-hand side has been damaged pretty severely, and you can see there's cars coming down the inside of him there, around the outside. Sorry, he's actually going to go for a very late lunge down the inside of Brogan. A little bit of contact between the two of them, but no damage to either car, no hindrance to the Renault of Brogan, and somehow Bonus Cigar managed to bring himself a bit further up the field. As you can see, Yolton Bahamas has actually shot himself off towards the pits. DRS has been enabled, and now we're on to the key stages of this race.
Marison, Marino, and Duxie all trying to occupy the same bit of tarmac, and Marison's looking to make a good move here. He might get 2 places. He has. That is an opportunity to overtake, but Duxie still on the inside for turn 3. Marison is well ahead, and that was a beautiful overtake. I don't know if you caught any of that.
Yep.
Duxie was on the outside, ran a little bit wide. Marino in the middle, we're on a little bit wider, and the door just opened. Marison just went, oh, okay, thanks. And he's just done it again on his teammate, by the looks of things. Ooh, little wobble nearly going into his teammate there. Nearly. That could have been the best few corners he's had. He might actually still gain here. just wonder if Bonus Scar let him through there because Marison is absolutely flying now.
I
And Bonus
don't.
Scar's just lost one to Duxie B.
Yeah.
Oh, there is damage, yes.
Oh, he's made a mistake. He's made a mistake. He just
damage
went
to the front
wide, got
right
onto the
bonus.
grass. Yeah, he went onto the grass, lost control of the car, and now he's missing. Obviously, with that fact that he had that contact earlier, as I was mentioning, that right end plate missing means that going through all the S's
Meister,
is.
Dan. Meister, Dan, sorry. They are side by side down the back straight. Meister with DRS, Dan without it. Meister's going to take this place. But will Dan fancy a switch back? No, he's just going to sit on the outside. Oh, contact. Big contact then from the Red Bull of Ascari on the back end of Dan. And Yonti nearly taking advantage of that. And Ascari avoiding damage, crucially, as the Haas boys are getting a bit antsy now. They want to get up there. They want a bit of fight. And who would have thought some Yanks want a bit of fight? As Beaker's going to make moves on Yonti. Down the inside into turn 1. Beaker's going to have his shot then at Yonti's hazard. Beaker's going to have a shot at Ascari's hazard's trying to have a shot at Yonti.
Yeah, the thing to remember. It really is, but the thing to remember is Yonti does, well, that you do all remember because you weren't told, but Yonti doesn't have a working DRS at the minute, which is why Beaker was able to pass him so easily. So I think it was a bit of a tactical decision. I think the team orders came into effect. Beaker taking the position away from Yonti does help Beaker a fair bit as it separates Hazard and Beaker just a touch to put a car between them.
A little bit of contact further back. Brogan and Marison going at it for 9th and 10th. Marinobi just off the back of these guys looking to get something here, but he's been hung out to dry around the outside of turn 7 and won't get anything. But Marison made a little mistake. Marinobi was looking to slice it down the inside, but just couldn't. And Marison's going to hold on to P10 for now, but will be all over the back of Brogan. And I think Brogan, he's going to need to now turn 11, 12, and 13 if he doesn't want to lose 2 places here. Because Marinobi wants to come through as well as they're swapping up front. Dan's lost another place then to Ascari. Where's Beaker? Let's keep an eye on Beaker. He might get Dan here.
You're definitely going to get Dan. Dan's got nothing but a sitting duck. He's looking like he's going to try the inside. Ascari covers it just to make sure that Beaker doesn't try any sort of ambitious dive. But Beaker's actually managed to get himself beautifully over that curve. And now he's in a position where, as long as he stays the gap like it is right now, the DRS and slipstream will be so effective for him. He might actually be able to close up on him towards turn 1, but he lost a fair bit on the exit of that corner. He's close though. He's going for it. Ascari goes defensive as he comes towards turn 1. It's going to be a long way around for Beaker, and he's going to try the outside all the way around, and so far he's doing it, but it looks like Ascari's got the better grip through the corner. If Beaker can't stay alongside him, he's going to have to surrender that position back. And yeah, Ascari manages to survive round that corner, but that was very close.
Yeah, Brogan's just lost yet another place. Marino Baby has got past it through the turn 1, 2, 3 complex.
Oh, Beaker's still
lost. Brogan's just lost his rear end.
Has he completed his span? Yeah, he's completely gone.
Yeah, but he's lost the place.
We have to go back up to the front of the field because Beaker is still fighting with Ascari, and he's managed to gain the position as he went round the outside through that little hairpin there, and now Ascari is trying to keep himself together and trying to recover the position. But Yonti has lost out to Hazard. Remember, he does have that DRS issue. It's whether or not he's going to get it fixed soon enough. It's definitely good that his wings stuck closed rather than stuck open.
I don't think it can be stuck open in this game. I've not seen it yet.
I'm kind
of interested to see it. I think most people remember Marcus Ericsson's crash at Monza last season, where his got stuck open in practice. And he did some of the most spectacular barrel rolls we've seen in a long time in F1. Yonti still hasn't got his open though.
Oh, look at Ascari and Beaker. Yeah, sorry, they're still scrapping as now Ascari's trying to do the outside move on Beaker. Now Ascari has the inside for the final corner, and I think this is going to have to be very careful. Ascari gave a lot of room there for Beaker, and ultimately it was Ascari's corner to take as he had the better line through there, but Beaker manages to stay around the outside.
Oh, this could be bad. This is bad. Hazard is now off facing the wrong direction. He got himself stuck into the battle and came off worse. I don't think that could be anyone's fault. I think that just looked like a racing incident.
Yeah.
I think he just carried a little too much speed and went into the side of Ascari. Ascari gave him space and he couldn't make use of it. So, Hazard dropped down to P7, some warm tyres now. And while we're talking, Dan had come into the pits a lap or so ago, so he's got some fresh mediums on his car, so definite 2-stopper from him. Brownlee's still out there, but with only a 1.1 second lead over Meister. And Beaker's 4 seconds behind, being helped by this battle. Brownlee is, really.
Yeah.
So let's see. Will Duke get past Yonti? Has Yonti fixed it? We're going to find out in a moment.
We will indeed. So, something else to keep a focus on is the fact that Brownie's still out there on those soft tyres. It does also make me think the fact that Dan went onto the mediums suggests to me that he either knows he can't take the hards all the way to the end, or he's gone to the mediums to prep himself for the rain that we think might be coming later. We don't know for sure. We're just speculating, but that's how it looks to me like that's going to be. Has Yonti's wing is fixed. The man is back on it, so we'll see now how much he can do charging up against these two. That's Beaker trying to get down the inside, but actually now there's two between the two cars, the two horses are actually scrapping through that little hairpin there, and it's actually going to be Yonti now who's been released. He's unleashed upon everyone else, but they are side by side now coming up towards turn one. You'd be very nervous if you're a Haas fan, because in the official F1 we all know how this is going to end, but these guys are not the same drivers. It's going to be Beaker trying to take the outside again, as we saw him do it earlier on. He's ran a fair bit wide, but no, Yonti managed to get better grip through the corners, and so he will stay P4.
I thought Beaker was going to have that. I really did. Beaker, so just lost place to Ascari, and now lost place to Yonti as well. Under pressure from the Alpha of Duop as well. And as Beaker, maybe he's just overcooked the tyres in the last lap or two. Just needs to cool them down for a bit. Is that what the problem is? And we'll find out. Marison is battling with Duxie B back there for 9th and 10th. Dan's actually done quite a good pit stop when you look at it. He's got a 10-second gap between him and anyone else in front of him. So he can now just go his pace. He doesn't have to worry about cars getting in the way. He can just drive. I don't think Dan's going to get a podium, but strategy-wise, it's looking good from him. He will have to make another stop. What that will be, we'll find out towards the end. Maybe he stopped a little too soon. He's going to have to go softs, mediums, hards. Or soft, mediums, mediums. As Brownlee has lost place to Mesa down the back straight. Mesa is your new race leader. Brownlee is in the pit stop window, as you can see.
Yep, Yonti and Ascari. Yonti's managed to get down the inside of Ascari, going through the hairpin. Ascari gets sent off to the outside. There's nowhere else for him to go. Beaker couldn't capitalize on this as well. He just didn't have the pace. But Yonti now up into 3rd place, and we're seeing a very different Yonti this season than I think we've seen in any other season ever. This guy is on fire right now.
He is driving like a man possessed. He's currently P3. I'm not going to say net P3 or net something. It is just P3 at the moment because strategies are going to be a bit odd, I suspect, with Dan doing his strategy. Whether or not it'll work, we'll find out. But Yonti now starting to pull away a little bit from Ascari. And maybe that's what he's lacking, just that overtaking with the DRS to get himself up there. And he will start pulling away. I'm just going to keep an eye on the Marison and Duxie B battle further behind. They're quite close together, and Marinovi was starting to close up like a Hazard. Hazard who had that spin a couple of laps ago at turn 1. Coming under pressure then from Williams. Not something he expected to see this race.
No, Mercedes being attacked by Williams is definitely not something we are so used to seeing. It's not normal. Marison has been stuck behind Duxie B for a while, and I don't think it's the fact that Duxie B is faster. I think Marison is just making more mistakes. He's cooked his entire car into pieces. Like, you can feel the way that he's taking. Look, that little wobble there means he's just pushing everything a little bit too hard. Watch how he comes out of this corner here. He's going to be fighting the steering wheel.
Duxie B came out with a wobble.
Yeah.
Marison might have a good shot here. Duxie B is just so slow. He had a wobble in the middle of the corner. Marison should have him here. Easy.
Yep. It couldn't have got any easier than that. That's textbook there. DRS overtake. Nothing to worry about there. As soon as Duxie B made that mistake, he knew he was in trouble. But Brownie is in the pits. Has decided that the softs can't go any further, as I predicted. I thought he'd push it a little bit further than that, I'll be honest. I mean, he did still go to lap 8 on those tyres, which is as far as I thought he would have taken him, really. But he's gone for the the medium compound. Right. I am pretty certain we're going to see rain towards the end of this race.
I mean, surely we should have someone to tell us that actually Brownie's lost the place to Dan. Dan's come out ahead. After that, all the gap he had, he's been able to use it quite well, Dan has. He's come out with a just shy of 2-second lead over Brownie. Yes, okay, he's got 4 laps extra on those mediums, but at least the lead.
Well, Beaker is looking good. He's currently chasing the back of Ascari. Ascari's actually starting to slowly fall away from Yonti. I mean, if you're looking at it right now, as in, look from Beaker's perspective, you're not actually really seeing that gap being so big. You can still see Yonti even in front of Ascari. But DRS is the thing that makes such a huge difference, and that separates the drivers quite substantially. Ascari does have DRS on this lap, But if the pace carries on the way it is for Ascari, if Beaker doesn't make quick work of Ascari soon, he will find himself in a position where he's going to lose that gap to Yonti, as it is now outside of the 1 second, even with Ascari having DRS. And I think Beaker's in a fair bit of trouble now.
Yeah, well, these tires are starting to get on a little bit. I'm just keeping an eye. I'll keep an eye on the battle further behind, just hoping to see something. And Maranelli has got past Hazard. That is not going too well. Is he going to try the cutback here? He's not. Maranelli has made the overtake on Hazard. That's not something we expected to see. I think that's just a sign that Hazard has overheated those tyres and been able to reduce the temperatures down. As Maranelli gets a 3-second penalty. We've seen a few of those penalties already. So that's going to help Hazard. He says, "Thank you very much. I'll take that back off you."
Oh, but Maranello, baby's going for the inside line. This might not work out so well. He's had contact as well. That's the big catch from both of them. Yeah. Hazard will not be happy with that one. I mean, he's managed to keep himself together and still pointing in the right direction, but that will have warmed his back tyres up quite a fair bit. So if he doesn't take it easy through the next few corners, he may have himself, especially this one here, he may end up having another spin.
Well, he seems right for now. I don't know if that was contact from Arabe, but it was very on the edge of being contact and not being contact. We know Hazard does have a little bit of problem with those tyres at the moment, so maybe it was contact, maybe it was just Hazard was getting a little bit too keen and just lit up the rears. But Tolkien getting a little bit keen and lighting up rears. Brownie is lighting up his as he chases after Dan. Back there, he's only 10th and 11th, but these are race leaders effectively. Obviously things will change in the next few laps, but yeah.
Someone else I'm keeping a very firm eye on is Dwip. He's currently there in P5 and he's right on the back of this big battle that's going on for P2 as it stands. 4.4 seconds is the gap from race leader to P2, so there's no... That's a big mistake there. Dwip just ran a fair bit deep there. I was about to say...
Look away.
Yeah, look away. Commentator's curse immediately. I was just saying that Dwip has been delivering some really quick pace and then I need to look away. I'm sorry, Dwip. I can only apologise for the drama that I've brought upon yourself, but we'll look further down though, as Brownie has managed to make the move on Dan. I was going through the hairpin on the slipstream, and he's even got a really good solid exit. Looking like Brownie actually dove a bit too deep into the corner. Dan read it, but it didn't work out well for him at all, as Brownie was able to carry far more speed, and you can see, here he is now, going for it.
Yeah, Hazard's come in the pits, he's gone for the hard tyres, those lighted up rears are not working well for him. He knows he needs to come in. It will come out as a nice bit of fresh air, though. That's going to work out very well for him. Brogan's so far off the pace. As I say that, he falls behind Brogan. My mistake. I thought he was going to come out with just the head. But Marathon and Duxby, nose to tail. There's a lot of battles happening here today. It's going to be interesting.
I mean, this is China in a nutshell. As much as I hate driving around this track, and I really do hate driving around this track, from a commentating perspective, this is absolutely golden. The reason why I hate China as a track is purely because it's so difficult. I just cannot seem to get this track to work for me at all. And a lot of the other drivers seem to be doing the same sort of thing. You're seeing a lot of mistakes, especially coming through turn 1. Drivers just running wide, running into each other, causing rotations, causing tyres to get hot, causing spin outs. And it's just so much excitement and drama. This is what you want to see in Formula 1. And hopefully this carries on throughout the entirety of this race.
I think we might see a couple of overtakes down the back straight. Duxie B and Mariston. Is he going to look for it? He's in mode 0. He's looking for it though. Last the late breakers. Duxie B is through, but will Mariston get the cut back? Yes, he will. And I'm going to immediately switch back to Hazard on Brogan.
Yep.
Hazard, he's going to make this one. This is easy. He's done it. Never mind.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just jumped on board with Brogan, and just look how far Hazard has already just disappeared down the straight because of how much pace he's currently chucking down right now. The exit for that corner does make a huge difference, and it's not like the Mercedes in this game is way more powerful than the Renault in this game. It's purely down to one of two things. Hazard's tyres are fresher than Brogan's, and the other thing is that Brogan just couldn't get a better exit from that corner anywhere near as good as Hazard did, and that's why he saw him just take off.
Yeah, Hazard is now P11 and Ascari pitting both at the same time, so we can see undercut attempts if Yonti and Beaker, which is very, very important actually. Yonti and Beaker haven't pitted, and they don't currently have a double stop between them. I don't know if your boy Raven Duck is their race engineer again, is he?
He is. He is.
I bet he's livid.
Nope.
Absolutely
I bet he's not.
Do you reckon he's got a strategy under that hat then? Or does he think he's yelling at both the drivers, come in, and they're going, I want to stay one more lap?
if there's one thing I've ever learned from having Raven Duck as a race engineer is that man is a god. That man knows things about Formula One I don't think anyone else does. And I hope to God one day that he can make it into the official F1 as a sort of team engineer or team strategist, because he knows it.
Yeah, I was just really concerned that they were running the risk of both wanting to go a little bit longer. Raven Duck's consistently yelling at one of them to pit, and they go, no, get the other one to pit, and they're just back and forth, to me to you style. But Yonti has now pitted because the one's staying out. Let's see where Yonti comes out, actually. He's coming out behind Brownie, that's for sure. Behind Dan. It's going to be where's Haskari now? Haskari's coming down the home straight right behind Yonti. Haskari's going to carry more speed. Yonti's going to stay ahead. For now.
And this also plays favours towards Beaker. If Yonti can hold Haskari back, it doesn't matter how bad of an outlap Yonti has. If he can hold him back, Beaker will actually come out back in front of him, as my co-commentator appears to be dying.
Sorry.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Good. Alright, so Meister, who did pit in race lead, is still net P1. Although Brownie and Dan are actually still ahead, but they will likely not make it to the end of this race, as Dan has already done 8 laps on those medium compound tyres. There's a very likely situation that he's going to end up having to go again onto another set of mediums. But as I was saying earlier, to me it suggests that there's going to be rain up until the fact that we saw all these other drivers go on hards. I think I may be wrong now.
Well, we'll find out. There might be rain at the end, but it's still looking like nice blue skies here. So Meister is on the rear of Dan, and he's in mode 1, so he's not going to... He might make an auto just for sheer power of that DRS, and I think he is. Sheer power of DRS, slightly fresher tyres, late on the brakes, very late on the brakes, and gone far too deep for Meister. He's going to lose a bunch of time here. Is Yonti coming through? Yonti is going to come through on Meister. Big mistake then. Big. That is a huge mistake, actually. That's... what's bigger than a big mistake?
And Brownie made a mistake as well. Brownie made a mistake on the final corner, so he actually ran seriously wide. And look, again, Meister's he's gone off. He's given up.
What's happening? What is happening?
I don't know. Marius has left. Meister is weaving.
Has he got a punch or something? He would have come in. I don't know what's happening.
I am amazed.
Chat open.
He's retired.
Meister's now finally retired, but not where he should have done. So hopefully for his sake this doesn't cause a safety car, because that's an immediate smack from the admins. I did see a bit of blue wing on the final corner as well. I'm just wondering if one of the Toro Rosso's Red Bull have picked up a bit of wing damage. It's looking right for Haskari. What about Dan? It could be old, to be fair. It could be in there for a while, but it was right on the apex. I found that a little bit odd. I'm just having a look at the cars with blue wings.
I'm baffled. I have no idea what happened there. I was looking. I could see him shifting gears.
Oh, okay. So the issue I've just seen with Meister is the wheel changed its degreenness mid-race.
Oh, so I have been there. You have
it set to what, 360?
Yeah.
Or is it 180? It changed
360.
To 1080.
That's awful.
No steering.
That's like yeah, exactly. You got to rally drive it with one hand. That's just impossible, especially in a Formula One car with the amount of false feedback that these guys were chucking down. So Meister, with a technical issue, has actually taken him out of the race now, and it really spices things up for those that are around, which were Haas and Red Bull and Toro Rosso. I mean, the McLaren of Brown is still in the mix, but whether or not he's actually going to be able to take those tyres to the end, I think that's just going to be impossible, surely.
Well, this has kind of blown it wide open. Marison also leaving session. I think Marison had an issue that caused the problem for Brownie and Yelt, kind of what I'm guessing. I'm basing this off what I can see in the text chat. So maybe, was that Brownie wing?
So I mean,
definite blue wing on the track on that final corner. I'm just on board with Brownie, see if he's struggling. It doesn't look like he's missing end plates.
No, his wing looks pretty clean. Is it Dan? It wasn't Dan's either, because I saw the way that they went through the whole... it might be Haskari, actually. Is it Haskari? No, his wing's fine. Boneless Cigar is retired from the race as well, so that's another one that's bitten the dust there. We're effectively 3 drivers down as Marison has actually left the session. Don't know if it was intentional or if it was a game issue or not. But Marison is not here. We've lost Meister, we've lost Boneless Cigar, so we do still have 12 other drivers still battling on this track. And actually still a fair few battles going on overall as Marinello Baby is catching up to the back of Hazard, does have DRS, isn't using ERS, so he's just going to be using the slipstream and the DRS to bring himself closer and then plan his attack as we come to the next few laps. Dan's in the pits.
Yep, he's going for it. It's going to have to be
he...
mediums from here.
What's happened to him?
Dan?
Boneless Cigar's... Oh, he left because he retired. But Dan was just... Yeah, he's left as well. He was driving into the wall left and right. I have no idea what's going on here.
Well, if someone knew that'd be great.
Well, anyway, we'll carry on as it is. So Yonti's race leader. Yeah, he's actually looking dead set on taking the 25 points. Brownie, who is still on those mediums and probably will be for quite some time. I think we'll probably be seeing him take it to about lap 13, thereabouts, before we see anything change there. And maybe he'll chuck himself onto some softs, but I think the damage he's going to cause as a result of doing this extra pit stop will just cost him, I think, a really good solid points position. Ascari's looking dead set on taking P2. Beaker's not really in a position to do anything about it other than if he puts his foot down and breaks that gap down to a second. He's still there, still easily in that range of doing it, but Ascari is closing in on Brownie, and he's about to take DRS from him. I don't think he got it on this lap. Oh, he did. So Ascari managed to get DRS just in time.
Yeah, Brownie's going to make a move here on Yonti. Easy as you like. So, Marison, I've heard that he had a mental issue. He's apparently quite tired, and as such, he nudged Brownie and nudged Yelt. I'm still just trying to find where that wing came from. That could just be an old piece of wing on the road. But yeah, so Hazard is actually just lost the place of Marinello Baby. Hazard is trying to do a recovery drive now after his little spin. So hopefully he can get himself back up there, get himself some points. Obviously, all still to play for as far as Hazard's concerned, because there are still penalties to come into play.
Yeah, especially when for Marinello Baby and Dwip, absolutely. I don't actually think there's many other drivers that actually have penalties. A lot of them kept it pretty clean, especially the front runners. Brownie's clean, Yonti's clean, Ascari's clean, and so is Beaker. I think the only other two in the top 6 then is obviously Dwip and Marinello Baby, who we know for definite have penalties. I just didn't see how many they had.
Yeah, well, for now, we've not got that long to go. We're on 17 of 28. And there's still action to go, despite what we've just had a bundle of issues coming along. 2 DNFs, 2 left sessions, and a partridge in a pear tree somewhere, I believe. I'm not sure where that is. But Yonti is still with the Revenant bug, so let's look at Ascari. Yes. Yonti might have a chance here with Brownie.
Yeah, Yonti's going for it. He's really giving it the full beans, but he's in mode 0. He's not actually trying to do the overtake here. He was still gaining on Brownie, just obviously because he was in mode 0. There's contact between the two of them. He just ran a little bit deep there. Brownie locked up, and that's cost him to lose control of the car. Yonti was actually running pretty fine, but then just ran a bit deep into the corner. He's run wide as well. He's still okay. No penalty for him, but this has brought Ascari right onto the back of Yonti now, and Yonti is in big trouble. He's going to have to go defensive as we come towards turn 1, and we're going to have to see what we've seen a few times is Ascari taking the outside line. He's managing to keep it just about together, but Yonti carried so much more speed through the corner that Ascari falls back to P3, and everything stays exactly as it was, except now we're a little bit closer.
Speaking of being a little bit closer, Beaker gained about half a second there. So he's trying to catch up to this battle for the top 3. He is not far back. He's 1.5 seconds now off the back of Ascari, so he'll be up to there quite quickly, especially with Brownie going as slow as he is due to medium tyres that are rather old. I don't know when he's going to pit though, and what is he going to go for? What do you reckon?
I think he will go for softs. It's just the sort of driver Brownie is, but I think he'll regret it. I mean, pitting again he's going to regret no matter what anyway, and I'm surprised he hasn't learned, because this is not the first time I've seen him do this strategy, and it didn't work out then either. Unless he's just adamant that it will work and he's just trying to make it work. And he's currently sat P1, so obviously in his mind right now he's thinking, this is absolutely brilliant, this is going to work perfectly. Yes, I'm happy. But yes, you should be in P1 after going for the tire strategies you've gone for, because you've chosen the 2 softest compounds out of the 3. But you're about to have to pit again, and when you do pit again, you are going to be in a whole world of pain, because you are just not going to be able to take it anywhere near as far as you want. And when you get on those softs, like I said, they don't last long. They are going to disintegrate so quickly. He will lose a lot of time.
Yeah, it's between softs and mediums at this point as Yonti tries to get past and has a nose ahead. Brownie just gets a little bit of kick around the outside. He has the inside in for the turn 3. Holds on to P1 for now, and Haskari's just hanging back. Wants to come into this, but just can't yet. And Bika will gain a 10th through that corner as well. So he'll see this battling going on ahead, knowing his teammates in there, and knowing that he might be able to have a little chance here at getting on the podium. 2 up 4 seconds back from Bika, probably just out of range, unless big penalties apply for these front runners. So it's looking good. If you're a Haas driver, that's for sure.
Yeah. The other thing to think about is this battle that keeps happening between Brownie and Yonti. Not only is obviously bringing another driver into this by bringing Haskari really close to them, it's also giving Bika the opportunity to close that gap, which he is doing. He's actually now down to, well, it was 1.1 seconds. He's not going to get DRS this time round, but what he needs to do is try and get himself, he needs to push really hard to get himself in the 1 second. Once he's in the 1 second, he can then use the DRS and slipstream to help regenerate his ERS levels. And whilst he's regenerating his ERS levels, he can then do well as Yonti and Brownie are scrapping one more time. As you can see them coming down to the hairpin corner. Brownie's going to be looking for an inside. It's not really going to happen as Haskari is also trying to get in there as well. Haskari does end up having to get stuck on the outside line. Ultimately, if he'd have tried the cutback, he would have got that successfully completed. But he does still have another chance now as he's down the home straight with the DRS wing wide open.
Yeah, and he's got twice as much ERS as Brownie does. That's... we're not talking a difference between 5 and 10% here. We're talking a difference between 35 and 70%, or 40 and 80. That's a huge difference. Haskari can just stick down mode 4 whenever he fancies right now. Brownie can go and go, oh, I can't keep up. Sorry, guys. Yeah. And sit back and do nothing. Bika is running really low himself. I think he's pushed really hard to get to this point. And he's sitting at 13% at the moment. Gets a 20 just in the braking. But Haskari, 84%. Brownie, 43%. Yonti, 24%. These Hasses, they might be up high, but their ERS is down low.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, they're doing well, let's be honest. They're still holding strong in this current situation. And it's great to see that Yonti is in the race lead position, despite the fact that it's obviously kind of gifted to him with Meister having the wheel issues. Does mean that, yes, he's going to take race lead, but that's the nature of the beast. You know, sometimes it can work out in your favour and sometimes it can work against you. But it's good to see both Haas drivers pushing. The concern I have right now, although Bika actually, Haskari made a big mistake coming around that long right-hander, so you'll see the time between Bika and Haskari drop quite considerably. I mean, Haskari will have DRS.
Going up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Bika did wrong there then, because Haskari made a fair bit of a wobble there, and Bika should really have easily brought that time down to about 4/10.
He doesn't have the ERS to use right now. He can't get the power down to catch up, and that's Bika's problem. He's in mode 3 right now. Haskari's only in mode 2, but this is burning off more and more ERS, which Bika doesn't have to play with right now. Haskari has got so much, and Brownie and Yonti are battling out front. Haskari should stick some mode 4 down, try and get involved in this. Haskari's got the ERS now. Stick mode 4 on every little bit of straight to catch up to the back of them and make the pass and be race leader. But maybe he's just playing the waiting game. Maybe he knows that Brownie's going to have to pit again in the next couple of laps, get some softs on. At that point, Haskari will attack. One less car to get past. Just a little bit easy, but he's falling back now. He's nearly outside the 1 second window.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
He's in trouble, that's for sure. Haskari needs to bring it down. I mean, he's now just back within it. He needs to get the better run. Remember, the DRS detection line is quite the way around the long right-hander. As you start turning right, it's right about, I'm on board with Bika, it's right about here. So that's where the detection line is. He brought himself right back in it anyway. Doesn't matter how marginal he was. So now Haskari has the opportunity to get the good exit he's been wanting, which he has now done. He's also dumping a lot of ERS here to try and close up to the back of Brownie. He's actually turned it off.
He put mode 4 off the corner to gain up as much as he could. then went conservative because he doesn't need to burn it. You look at Brownie. Brownie's back up to 50% himself. Yonti is down in 24%. So again, the Hasses are really struggling with their ERS. Brownie's struggling with his tyres. The one person in the best position here is Saskari. And I think that's going to be our race winner at the end of this.
Could be, potentially. I mean, it is obviously also down to Yonti to do what he can do to manage his ERS levels. Both Haas drivers, like you said earlier, are still struggling for ERS levels. They're not really able to keep it together, and it's expected that Yonti would be in that position as he hasn't got DRS to use to defend with. He has to solely rely on getting a good solid exit out of the corner and then also using that mode 4 on the ERS to try and just keep himself quite that bit far ahead. The one thing that's crucial now, though, is that Yonti is now on that 1 second limit between him and Brownie. If he can just push that little bit harder, just use that little bit extra ERS before he gets to the detection line, he might be able to then start driving a bit more conservative with his ERS levels and then worry about him later. He's already done it, though. He's done it.
Yeah, I'm now starting to wonder if Brownie's coming in. I think now he's just lost the ERS to Yonti, he might come in. But we've got 6 laps left. There's not really much time to gain up your positions once you've got those softs on. I would have thought if he was going to go on softs, he should have come on lap 20, maybe. Give yourself a nice, good run on those soft tyres, so you can gain back as much time as possible. Here comes Saskari, though, down the inside. Brownie's going to lose another place, or unless Beaker can have a slice of this as well, but no, Beaker's not close enough. So Brownie down to 3rd, and still not coming in. I think this has got to be Brownie to the end.
Yeah,
it's unusual to go this late and not come in.
Yeah, he's the man who's going to do that. You know, he's the kind of crazy driver that would try that strategy, and he's falling down the order now. He was P1 at one point, but he's obviously falling further and further back. Brownie made a mistake there. This is actually bringing Beaker into it. Beaker needs to get past Brownie as quick as possible. If he doesn't, then Brownie will fall behind and he will drag Beaker back with him. And you'll see Haskari start to pull away. It's already at 0.7 of a second now. Beaker needs to find the gap. He's going for the outside line here. He's trying it, but Brownie's managing to fend him back. Beaker gets sent to the outside line. There's nowhere else for him to go. And Brownie somehow manages to defend against Beaker.
Yeah, I think this is a lost cause, though, Brownie defending against Beaker. The one thing I'm wondering, if Brownie does have any damage on that car. He had a little issue earlier with Marison. So did Yelt. Maybe that's what's causing Brownie these issues. He does have a bit of front wing damage. It's just not a part we can see from our cameras. And now we're going past said culprit in Marison.
Well, Beaker's been dealt a lifeline. Beaker has been dealt a big lifeline here. That DNF'd car there of Marison has given Brownie the ability to have DRS, which means that he's now able to still close up slightly on Haskari, who doesn't have DRS, bring himself back within the 1 second DRS marker for the home straight, which is going to allow Beaker to just do what he's doing right now. As Brownie's made a mistake there, Beaker is up, and he should be just about on the limit for the 1 second margin, and yes, just over by 0.2. If he pushes a little bit harder, he might actually be able to close up to Haskari, as neither Haskari or Beaker have DRS.
No, Beaker is 1.1 off the back of Haskari now. It's getting so close. Brownie can't be coming in from this point. It'll be suicide. The only reason Brownie would come in now if he had a massive puncher, which I don't think he's going to do.
No.
You never know. You never know. Don't count it out.
I mean, the way that Brownie's driving, he won't be surprised if he has a puncture in the next couple of laps, because he's just locking up a lot of the time. He's making mistakes, especially in the hairpin at the end of the long straight. I've seen him lose it there quite a few times. So there is a potential for him to get a puncture anyway, but even more so if he carries on making those mistakes and just drives like his heart is on the line.
Yeah, the one thing we hadn't noticed that Marinobi, we've got past Europe, and they are still battling actually for 5th, 6th, and Hazard wants a little bit of this. He's 2.5 seconds back there in 7th, and Yelt is close to Overspeed, so they are 8th and 9th, and Duxby all starting to make roads into that as well with those fresh softs. He might fancy a few more points today, but whereas Brownie is, I think he might be a little too far back. You never know.
Overspeed is on 22 lap old hards. I mean, I know they had issues right at the beginning of the race, and he obviously went for the hard compound tyre, but I think at that point, that's when you got to say, I'm going to have to do the 2-stop strategy, just do soft, hard, softs. But no, he's decided, I'm going to try the 1-stop. And he's in a situation now where he's lost so much time. He's actually lost more than a pit stop anyway, so he's not actually doing very well. And yeah,
if you can get those
interesting.
to the end, that would be brilliant to see. Just 26 laps on those tyres.
Yeah,
About that, yeah. It should be
they're going to be hot.
really quite impressive.
They're going to be so hot. He must be. In fact, I want to have a
That's
quick
awesome
look
space.
at him. I want to keep an eye as he comes through. I want to see if he's going to be having any sort of real tire troubles going through the exits of corners. Oh, wow, that was close. I thought Yolt was going to ride straight into the back of him there, but no. He manages to keep it together as Overspeed is still sat P8, but Yolt Nabamus is much faster with with the DRS wing wide open, slipstream being a factor as well. He's not gone for the overtake mode. He's just going to try and rely on Overspeed having major issues with those tires. You wouldn't believe it though, but Overspeed is actually doing a pretty solid job as Yolt Nabamus looked for the inside line. It was not there for him to take. Big contact there. Don't know how that ended up being so drastic. It looked like he kind of fell into the ground a little bit there, but he's still going strong, and Duxaby is right there on the back of him on soft tyres.
Yeah, Duxaby should make short work of this, but with Overspeed having ever so massive, well, not ever so slightly, massively different braking points to the other two, this could catch one of these guys out. I mean, if... Oh, there goes Yelp. That is a cheeky little move. I didn't expect to see that one. He's not going to make it stick because the Overspeed has the inside. He's going to lose a place to Duxaby. Duxaby's going to get squeezed across, but Yelt's still holding on to it. And actually, I'm going to quick look at Duke.
Well, Yolt's actually going down the inside of Overspeed. There's contact between the two of them. That's actually going to be Yolt Nabamus going into the side of him. Overspeed gives him a little clout as well on the return. And now Duxaby is just trying to damage limitate, just trying to get past them without any major issues. He's got past Overspeed. He's going to have DRS. Yolt Nabamus isn't going to have anything, and he's just going to be a sitting duck here. As you can see, the pace he's weaving. That's pretty dangerous. He could almost get in trouble for that, but now you can see they're going 3 wide into the hairpin. There's Overspeed trying to get a nice tight line through it, and Yolt Nabamus will stay ahead. Overspeed manages to regain the position on Duxaby, and somehow we didn't lose any wing damage. There might have been a little contact there between the two of them, as Yolt Nabamus just struggled through that corner. Overspeed managed to carry so much more speed, and you can see now this is big trouble for turn 1 as Overspeed and Yolt Nabamus are going to be going toe-to-toe, and Duxaby is going to go around the outside. I think he may actually have pulled this one off.
Maybe, maybe not. It's touch and go. He should get the drive off the corner on Yelp. Yelp's getting blocked then by Overspeed and comes across to come in behind. So Overspeed had a little bit off track, and Yelp is now back down in P10. Overspeed's into the corner. Those tyres are not working well for him. Duxaby is now up into 8th. Overspeed is 9th. Yelp's trying to go round the outside of turn 7. Has he made that one stick? He has, because he's then on the inside, and he's then up into P9. And that should be P9 done for him.
Yeah.
As we're on lap 27 of 28. Just started, actually, so those guys are still on lap 26. Still a little bit of battle going out front. Beaker and Browning are still quite close. Yonti's got a nice little lead to his name, which is what you need, especially if you suddenly get a last lap penalty. That's the worst thing you can get.
Yeah.
Right about that. If you're all clean out front, one penalty, you can completely change how you feel on the final lap. So Duke and Marin Lobova are still close together. They've been close together for a while.
Overspeed and Yolt Nabamus are still scrapping. How is this happening? Overspeed has managed to get past Yolt Nabamus. You'd have thought that the tyre difference between the two drivers should be astronomical. He's literally done 9 laps more on those hard compound tyres. And yes, Yolt Nabamus has DRS again here. He's not using mode 4. He's just staying in mode 2. He went behind him to get the slipstream, but he's actually just ran wide, and now he's going to try his best to carry the speed round the outside of the corner. And if he can keep that angle, he'll take it into turn 2, 3. There's 3 there. He's managed to keep himself together, but we can't count Overspeed out, despite the fact that he's 25 laps in.
Well, yeah, I mean, you get a DRS if you can stay on the back of Yelp on the last lap, get DRS down that last straight, and just nick the position. Then yeah, you might just get that extra point. So it is a difference between 1 point and 2 points right now. Might not be massive, but it could be a huge difference come the end of the race. And we are on the final lap. The leaders are on the final lap, and it's still very close out front. Beaker's close up into the back of the Sky. 0.7 is the gap there. Brownie still hovering around the back of Beaker. 0.8 is his gap. I think if there's going to be one position change, it's going to be could be Beaker and the Sky over the Haas 1-2.
Yeah. I mean, it's crunch time. It's absolutely crunch time now for Beaker. Everything he's done so far in this race all comes to this moment right now. He needs to get right onto the back of that Red Bull so that when he comes out of the long right-hander, he can just slingshot down the home straight. Haskari's not going to have DRS. He's also running pretty low on ERS, same level as Beaker is. But Beaker has the benefit of the slipstream. He will be able to just gun it past Haskari on that basis alone. But he has to bring himself down to around about 4.5 tenths of a second at the point of when they exit the corner, coming up the long right-hander. He needs to exit the corner with about 4.5 tenths, and he's not got that. I don't think he can do this.
It's not there yet, though. He will get DRS on the Sky, but he's just falling back. If there's going to be any position change, it could be Brownie on Beacon. That will be a story. Brownie will be telling his grandkids, he is the grandpa. He's going to do 20 laps on set of medium.
Beacon didn't get DRS.
Ooh.
Beaker didn't get DRS. Brownie's now coming at him hard, and this is going to have to be Beaker going seriously defensive down the inside. He's going to have to really protect Brownie on the exit now because Brownie's going to... Oh, never mind, as Brownie just gets a little bit too hot on the accelerator. So it's going to be Yonti taking P1 with Haskari, who drove really cleanly and well, takes P2. Beaker takes the third spot of the podium, and Brownie manages to sit a very cozy P4 after a very interesting strategy. Marinella Baby takes P5, but then loses it due to penalties, and Hazard doing Hazard things takes P5 due to penalties.
Yeah, I mean, we say it every race we see Hazard in. I wonder how many positions he's going to gain this time, and he's just done it there. He was 70, jumps to 5th. 3 penalties. We've got a little bit of weight while we're at Taxi B. Rogan is not going to be catching Overspeed unless Overspeed has a huge issue with those 26-old hard tyres, but he's looking pretty. And Duxby will be taking 8th in a moment.
Yeah.
But a great race all round.
Absolutely stonking race that was. So Duxby's now just crossed the line. He takes 8th place with Yon Labamas coming. He will take 9th and then getting the final point after a very admirable situation. It wasn't even his fault that he had that crash. Overspeed now P10 gets a point still to his name. A really well-deserved point, I must say. Wow.
Yeah.
So we'll get out of the way whilst we're waiting for the standings to come up just to confirm everybody's situation. But I want to ask you, what is your driver of the day?
I think it's going to have to be Onti, isn't it? I mean, yes, okay, might think he was gifted the win, but a 6th to win, drive penalty-free, is probably as good as he's going to get for most of the season. Sky, valuable effort there, and it's a finish 1-2 at the top of the podium.
Yeah, well, there they are. Yonti and Beaker doing well for Haas, getting some very solid points taken it. And I think you're right. Yonti has to get driver of the day. He really delivered where it mattered. Remember, he had DRS issues at the beginning of the race. For like a good 3 or 4 laps, he didn't have DRS at all. And eventually he managed to keep him. He still kept himself together. And, you know, you could say, like you said, that to a degree, the win was gifted to him, you could say. But at the same time, you also have to say, regardless of that, that is the nature of the beast that is Formula One. You know, there are going to be mechanical issues and engine issues, and that is how it's going to work out. So, fair play to him. He did take it. And Sky takes a very solid P2 with Beaker in 3rd. Brownie takes 4th with Hazard jumping up 2 places due to penalties for the other drivers, which are Marinella Baby and Dwip, who takes 6th and 7th. Duxby takes 8th with Yon Labamas in 9th, and Overspeed, who drove a very admirable race, driving very long on those hard compound tyres, takes a very solid final point. And the best of the rest is Brogan, and the only other 2 drivers to finish were Dan and Marison, as we lost Bonus Cigar and Meister during the race. Yeah, Marison was in AI, so that doesn't count. Well, that is it for the European Racing Series. Thank you, everybody who tuned in. I've been Brendan Ragan McConnell. This has been Jamie M. Castle Elder. Thank you so much for commentating with me, as always. We look forward to seeing you guys next week, where we're back for Baku. But until then, we'll see you soon. Good night.